And we're back, Clipper Nation. Little Clippers Talk After Dark for you as we are leaving Front Wave Arena. Trying to find my way out of here. I'll have to follow somebody else. I have no idea where I'm going. There's a roundabout somewhere. Clippers were victorious in preseason number 1. Looked pretty good. Driving left for us, as you'll see with James Harden. Biggest takeaway? Probably dose Kawhi Leonard with 5 3-pointers. All of his makes were 3-pointers. He was incendiary. Kawhi Leonard looked great. Healthy. Looked like a guy that had a healthy offseason for once. Got to train the way he wanted to. It was a sight to see. When I see a guy knock down outside shots that effortlessly, it tells me their legs are underneath them. It also tells me their touch, their timing, their rhythm is there. Kawhi looked spectacular. Now, given the competition and it's a preseason game, sure, you can discount it, diminish it, but I think we know who Kawhi Leonard is. It's really not about the competition when he's rolling. It's about him just being healthy, because you end the shots that he can make. Good to be with you guys. Coming up, we'll have a guest on the show. Hope you all can hear me okay. Some are telling me to hit the In-N-Out drive-through. Get behind me, Satan. I was trying to live right. I had a bad night already because the spread here was nice. Front Wave Arena. I'll say it for the second year in a row. The Clippers were here for the second year in a row. They opened things up here last year for the G League team, the San Diego Clippers, playing a preseason game here. Just a beautiful event. Really got to thank the hospitality. No, San Diego, beautiful city, beautiful arena, Front Wave Arena, incredible. Some are saying Zoo looked faster in here. Zoo was 7 of 8 from the field, I believe. Looked dominant. Put Frank the Tank and others in the spin cycle, and he had a couple of Shaq Zoos. I think that's better than Zoo Shaq. It's like Shaq Fu, Shaq Zoo. Ivica Zubac is a monster. The league is figuring that out. A certain publication is figuring that out after they put him 26th for centers going into last season. And by certain publication, I'm talking to you, hoopshype.com. Y'all messed around and had Ivica Zubac going into last year 26th at the center position. And now this year, they have him 29th on their top 100 player list. He went from being the 26th best center going into last season on Hoops Hype to now being the 29th best player, period, in the league in 1 year. I don't think he did anything that much different. He just got the ball more, got more opportunities, more touches, took advantage of them. Zoo came through last season, also had a stellar series against Nikola Jokic, more than held his own. Jokic continues to struggle against him. It gave the Clippers a chance to win that series, struggling for Jokic's standards, of course. But I'm excited about this team, as I've been emphasizing all summer long. My guy, L. Frank, gave me a big fist bump tonight. Lawrence Frank cooked this summer with the moves that he made. The Clippers have solidified and created strengths, or strength and weaknesses, I should say. This team, if they're healthy, absolutely a contender. You can say if. Well, that goes for every team. How many guys tore an Achilles last season? And it derailed their chances. It happened in Game 7 for Tyrese Halliburton. It happened before that with Jason Tatum. Like, you got to have luck. The Clippers, yes, have guys that are more injury prone or a little bit older, longer in the tooth. No doubt. It's more worrisome for this group, but I love the depth on this team. And yes, as I reported during the live stream, Bogdan Bogdanovic looked like he was holding his lower back after the first time out and went to the locker room. Remember, he was coming back from the hamstring injury he had overseas during FIBA play. So that's something to keep an eye on. But they're 11 guys deep. Oceans 11, as La Murray has called them. Madam Oslin on the way home. Back to Burbank from San Diego and Front Wave Arena. Coming up here as soon as I hit the freeway. Get a little bit of stability here and direction and orientation. I will bring a guest on for you guys. Somebody you're familiar with. Appreciate those in the chat. Those who are able to watch the game through the camera I had set up. I know it was difficult tonight. No radio. You had to have League Pass to watch. I did what I could. But what I saw was a healthy, spry Kawhi Leonard. During the layup line, Derrick Jones Jr. had a reverse 360 with the left hand, although I guess that's not a reverse for him. He had a crazy dunk to get San Diego out of their chairs during the pregame introductions and the layup line. It wasn't just him. John Collins had a throwdown. Trenton Flowers had a throwdown. And Kawhi also had a big throwdown with two hands, playing to the crowd. Kawhi's looking bouncy. I asked Coach Lou pregame if Kawhi Leonard looked the same as he did during training camp of 2023. That's when he was coming off the meniscus injury, but had surgery and came into training camp relatively healthy. They were in Hawaii, and he was participating fully. And Coach Lou said yes. I think the quote's out there somewhere, but he agreed that this is that Kawhi Leonard looking like 23-24 Kawhi. And that guy was all NBA second team, had the most efficient 30-game stretch in NBA history with 57, 52, 90 splits over 30 games, getting over 25 points a game. During that time, the Clippers also went 25-5. Eventually would go 26-5 during a 31-game stretch. So if that's the Kawhi they're getting to start this season, I'm feeling optimistic. Anybody else? I'm telling you, when Kawhi is hitting fallaway three-pointers like we saw tonight with ease, he had a little back and forth with, good to see Victor Oladipo out there. Victor hit a tough step back three on him in the near side corner, and then Kawhi got him with a 3-pointer on the other end. And then Kawhi got another three the next possession. And there was a timeout by the Lions. But Kawhi finished with 5 threes. All of his makes 3-pointers. Good signs all around. Clippers only led by 5 at the half. It was nice 69-64. But they opened things up in a hurry. As at one point, I want to say they went on a 29-0 run where the Lions might have gone the entire third quarter without making a field goal. But I saw Victor Oladipo, Holiday, Frank Kaminsky. Those are the guys I really want Victor Oladipo back in the league because he got screwed, cut down in his prime. I think he was ascending to being a top 10 player in the league. With you guys for a bit here as I got to drive. Why to drive? Coming back from San Diego to Burbank, just left Front Wave Arena. Let me see if I can send out an invite to a guest here. Operate things safely, of course. Safety first, as always. No cars near me. It's no different than changing the knob on the radio. Clippers did open things up in the second half. They got up by 30 entering the fourth quarter. And Chris Paul had some really nice plays. John Collins also was somebody who looked just shot out of a cannon with the motor that he played with tonight. John Collins is a breath of fresh air with his style of play and also his attitude and how talkative he's been with the media. And I got to tell you, Derek Jones starting tonight was not a coincidence to me. John Collins is going to start the game on Sunday, but I think Derek Jones Jr. is in the lead for being the 5th starter. And John Collins was asked about that. Does it matter to start? And he was kind of like, no, but yes, but he just wants to impact the game, be efficient out there, and he was great in that first half especially. Big throwdowns. Had another one in the second half off a Jordan Miller. Clippers defensive stop, and then a Jordan Miller oop to John Collins. But playing with force, athleticism, spring, out there with his teammates, very vocal. Guys were communicating. I think they were upset with how the first half ended. We thought it was going to end on a Zoo dunk, I think, and then Victor Oladipo got a clear path foul on the other end. Kawhi was playing hard defensively on him. Kawhi doesn't really know any other way but to play hard defensively. So John Collins also, his first game as a Clipper, CP3's first game back with the Clippers, was knocking down back-to-back, had a steal and then a 3 in the second half. When things really opened up for them and this game became a laugher, it was Chris Paul kind of taking control of things, orchestrating the offense. Brook Lopez, Splash Mountain, had a really nice block and some nice defensive plays and got a technical somehow. Got into it with the officials. I was right there. I didn't think he deserved that tech. I actually thought it was going to go on Chris Paul. They both were doing a little bit of chirping, but guys are competitive, playing with an edge. I don't think they liked only being up by 5 at the half. It changed quickly. Let me see if I can send out this link here. Appreciate you guys in the chat. going to put my headphones on. Check, check. I can hear what you were hearing. Oh, I'm a little bit exhausted. I apologize if I'm lethargic. But it's nice to have driving companions on the way home. You guys keep me going here. Been a busy week. Got the Friday show on Fox Sports Radio, doing the solo show on Saturday night on Fox Sports Radio, Clippers game on Sunday, world's smallest violin playing for me. No one cares. Work harder. I ain't complaining. There's a lot going on. All good things. Tonight, kind of a strange experience for myself and Carlo Jimenez because we weren't doing a radio call. The game was not on the radio. Any of the usual places either, but being there as more of a spectator, an observer, was working on some play-by-play with Carlo, giving me tips, just having fun, relaxed. It was a good time. Nice way to open up the preseason. But ultimately, tonight was mostly about Kawhi because what do I always say? They're only going as far as Kawhi takes them. And he was healthy. And had some juice out there. CP3 back in a Clippers uniform. Sight for sore eyes. Something I know we've been looking forward to. It's just him and Kawhi Leonard, these generations of Clippers stars together. It's like, did you guys see the Flash movie? I know that guy got canceled with Ezra or whatever, but it had Michael Keaton's Batman in it. Like just universes colliding. I kind of like that Flash movie, actually. It's one of DC's better movies. Not saying much, but that's what it feels like seeing Kawhi next to CP3, and they're talking to each other a lot. Kawhi spoke at his camp back in the day. They've had a relationship. This team just has a lot of those important ingredients. Some guys with championship experience, some without it who are still chasing, who are hungry, who have a lot to prove. Still, even Hall of Famers who can feel like that sometimes, that always play with the chip on their shoulder. Chris Paul is that guy. This combination of players, this mix that Lawrence Frank put together, I think this is and can be a special team at least. But you gotta go out there and prove it. Bradley Beal was talking about this the other day. Yeah, this is great. Everything looks great. Got to prove it. And he would know because he was coming into Phoenix. A lot of people thought, oh, they're a top 3 team in the West. They're a contender. So it's not just about on paper. It has to work out there on the court, right? But the early signs pointed in the right direction when it comes to chemistry, guys meshing, the right mix of veterans, guys who are, a lot of them in the same stage of their career. where it's about chasing a championship. And they're willing to sacrifice, whether it be minutes, role. You need that buy-in. I think Coach Lou is going to be able to make this locker room work. Now, everything's easier before you lose a game. The old Mike Tyson quote, everybody's going to play until you get punched in the face. But it's true. And there's going to be some adversity at some point early on in the season, and then you'll see how this team responds, see what their character is. Do they still have that identity from last season? Do they still have that resilient nature we have seen over the years? I think the most important thing is defensively, they have to be able to stay sharp and connected and focused on that end. And to me, that means when your strength of the team last season really was the point of attack defense, helping out your backline defenders. Zoo's always been good back there, but the difference when you actually have guys willing to guard out there on the perimeter and what a difference that can make overall. Zoo's been doing his job for a while, but when guys take up the challenge of wanting to stay in front of their man, makes Zoo's job on the last line of defense much easier. So I think, and I said this the other day, if you check out that episode in the live section with Kawhi Leonard, with what he said after about a bigger front court with John Collins, what that could do for him, and he's been asking for a 4. And Kawhi, the first thing he said was something to the effect of, I think it's going to be mostly the same. That's, to me, it's likely he's still at the 4. And DJ is probably starting, not John Collins. That's not confirmed. That's just how I read it. Then DJ starts their first preseason game. John Collins starts the next one. That would tell me maybe there's a pecking order or a hierarchy there, and DJ is in the lead if there's an open competition going on. I think Coach Lou wants to maintain that defensive integrity. I think that's important to Jeff Van Gundy and what he started last year with making them and helping make them a top 5 defense. And if Bradley Beal's your starting point of attack defender, well, I think he's going to get off to a quick start defensively, and he has shown that ability at times. Well, Derrick Jones Jr. is one of the best when it comes to hounding, especially opposing teams' ball handlers. We know Chris Dunn can do it, but he's smaller. DJ can guard a few more positions. It would make sense that if it's not John Collins starting at the 4, that DJ is in there. Gives you a little bit more size and length and pause. But he hit a couple of 3-pointers early in this ball game, by the way, Derrick Jones Jr. And what did he shoot last season? 35% from 3? Career high in the regular season? 36%? Maybe he's still getting better. Is he 29? In some ways, Derrick Jones Jr. is on the younger side when it comes to actual on-court minutes. He's been in the league for a bit, but he was in the background. He was a dunk contest guy. He wasn't playing heavy minutes. He wasn't starting really till he got to Dallas. So there could still be more upside to him, is my point. And he could still turn into a better shooter, I think. It's possible. I don't want to oversell and underdeliver on this, but I wouldn't be shocked if the 3-point percentage crept up a tick this season from DJ. And they could use that, especially if he's in the starting lineup. So that was something to watch for tonight. I should probably also check if we're still even on. If you guys can still hear me, let me know. So I'm just streaming this off a hotspot. It's a little bit hilly over here. Are we still live? I was hoping to have a guest. I sent the link. We got the thumbs up. We're good. Appreciate you, Clipper Nation. I mentioned the bogey injury earlier. That brought Jordan Miller first in off the bench. So your starting lineup, remember, was because Bradley Beal, they're still holding him back. He just started scrimmaging. He had the knee scope in May, minor cleanup, but I think they're just bringing him along slowly because, hey, he played 53 games each of the last 2 seasons. He's been injury prone. Take your time. So it was James Harden next to Bogey, next to DJ, Kawhi, and Ivica Zubac. But when Bogey went out with what looked like to me, as he walked through a tunnel right next to us, he was holding his lower back and he's had the hamstring. And those things are connected, but I haven't seen the report from Law. Jordan Miller was the first guy off the bench. Trent Flowers also got some run with the starters. Kobe Brown got some run in the second half. Kobe Sanders did too. But Jordan Miller coming in first, interesting to me. It's preseason. I don't think he had a great game. He had a bucket going left, as he's prone to do. I just know that bogey injury could be concerning. Didn't like seeing that right away. First time out, he goes to the locker room. Now, do they have an embarrassment of riches? Is he somebody that could be missing games anyways if everybody's healthy? Yes. But it just would be nice to get into the season fully healthy and start from there. And I hope, and I just saw this update from Law, no update on Bogey, low back. So what I saw was accurate. He was grabbing in his lower back. Maybe it's still nothing and just, hey, if you feel anything, considering you're coming back off the hamstring injury, don't push it. I don't know. But he had been scrimmaging. Clippers win tonight 142-95 over the Lions in San Diego. Seeing if we got any locker room sound. It's my voice. I'm going to need it the next 3 days. It's a little bit on the wrecked side. I got to be careful. Extra careful. Hoop jab. Are you with me? We could hear from Bogey on with Lou Williams. Although, I don't know if the internet's fast enough streaming like this on a hotspot for all that. Big Zoo played like it tonight. Some of you said quicker. He looks obviously slimmer, 11 to 12 pounds. Zoo said like 10. Whatever. He's lost about 10 pounds. But he also said he feels like he's moving better and he's stronger. So if you're losing weight and slimming down, but still feel like you have all your strength, there's no real downside. And the way they switch, he has to guard out on the perimeter. Now, if all of a sudden Jokic starts dominating him like he wasn't able to before, I think I heard this on the Lob the Jam, because Zoo's getting pushed around because he doesn't have the weight, Well, weight gainer 2000. You gotta scale back up. But I did see a couple of just quick moves from him in the paint and just rocking the rim. Yannick had, I think, a dunk late eventually. He also had a big block. Carlo Jimenez called it before it happened, so he was feeling it. Some of the other guys, Kobe Sanders hit a near side corner three, I want to say. Cam Christie had an and one on a nice pump fake in the near side baseline, short corner. Trenton Flowers, he had a huge dunk late. He is a real athlete, very athletic. And last season, he and Patrick Baldwin Jr. shot 37% from the outside in the G League, mind you. So when you talk about the guys on two-way contracts right now, it's Jordan Miller. It is Trenton Flowers and Kobe Sanders. Those are guys with two ways. I know Jason Preston's back, and you got to put back off his own miss late in the ball game, and people are excited for Jason, seeing him out there. They need competency with the G League team, the San Diego Clippers, at the guard position. Just somebody to get them into their offense to orchestrate things, get the trains running on time. Jason Preston can do that. Good to see him. But I don't know if one of the young guys really truly popped tonight. The starters played heavier minutes. Kawhi played 18 minutes and had 18 points in the first half. James Harden, as I mentioned, he only had 2 buckets, but they were attacking. He had burst. That was also good to see since he's 36 now. I think there's something, and I've mentioned this before, to James Harden getting further and further away from that hamstring injury he had that was really bad with the Brooklyn Nets. That definitely took something away from him with that first step. But there were times last season I was like, wow, James Harden's really moving well. I thought he moved better last season than he did his first season with the Clippers, honestly. And he was an all-star and all-NBA third team. He looks to be in good shape. He said he's in even better shape than he was coming into last year's training camp when everybody was gawking at how much thinner he looked and you could see the defined muscles. And it's like, hey, James Harden, best shape he's been in. There's about that last year going into training camp, and it sounded like he just built upon that this summer. And they're going to need him, even though they got CP3 out there. And Chris Paul played all 82 games last year. There's just something to watching him in a Clippers uniform again that's just really heartening. Just warms the heart. But aside from and sentimental factors, CP3 can still ball. Again, those back-to-back threes he hit, and then just seeing that attitude he has out there, the nastiness, the king of clevers, Brian Seaman would call him, just that intense competitiveness that CP3 has. It's refreshing. Remember, Charles Barkley would always say he was the best leader in the NBA. And I know there were locker room issues with Lob City, and CP3 is very demanding of guys, and some guys it could rub the wrong way, but most players love playing with him. And him with Kawhi now, back with James, And him and Brook Lopez had some two-man game going. They were talking to each other a lot. He talked about being excited about playing with Brook. I think that's a really good pairing. I think John Collins coming off the bench next to Brook Lopez can be a very good pairing. Those two can work together well because they both can shoot from the outside. Back long too. It was on the baseline in this game. But while they both are rim runners, they also both can shoot from the outside. So floor spacing shouldn't be much of a problem. There's just so many different variations with lineups. There's a lot of optionality for Coach Lou. Not starting. Why isn't John Collins? They just got punked by Aaron Gordon in the playoffs. It's like matchup dependent. Maybe he DJ some nights, depending on the. I like how DJ or bet point attack. John on court is. These are all good options to have. I really think they're going to be able to figure this out. I think the Clippers have a squad. The kids say, "What? We bought a zoo. The Zubac. Big Zoo, my personal favorite. Just his attitude, the contracts that he has taken to be a Clipper, his understanding of the fan base that has been long suffering. And, you know, he said the Clippers can't have nice things before. Like, it just feels like that. He's relatable. He is extremely kind. Gives best interviews on the team, maybe, even though English is not his first language, obviously. That guy, it feels like I know he was a Laker to start, but it feels like he's been ours from the beginning in some ways. Thanks, Magic. What an assist. So I don't want to see him take a step back this season, but the numbers may go down a little bit. A lot of mouths to feed. Bradley Beal hasn't played yet. My thinking is blow some teams. They weren't able to do that a lot of last season because they didn't have Kawhi. They weren't at full capacity. This season, the schedule early on is generous. They have a chance to start 7-3 or 8-2. They have a chance to step on some teams' throats. You do that, you can get a lot of different guys minutes in garbage time, beat up on teams, dominate. Just dismember the opposition at times. Don't play with your food when you want everybody to eat on your team. That's one way to keep guys happy. If it can really hit the ground running. And the way Bradley Beal talked about it, and you can see that the live section too, I played that interview from the other day, with how quickly they're picking up concepts, even the new guys. And then the guys who have been here, is the same strategy, defensive scheme from last season, because you have a continuity with coaching staff and nothing's changed there. So it could come together quickly for this team. They could be shot out of a cannon. health permitting. Just think about preseason. Keys to preseason: stay healthy. I care about more than anything else. But build up a little bit more familiarity with the new guys. John Collins, CP3. I saw Brooke Lopez. All those guys were talking to each other a bunch tonight, trying to get on the same page. You got to get those live reps in. You can't just not play guys in the preseason. It does matter, especially with new faces. But I think a lot of these guys want to be great collectively. They know they're capable and have a pretty high ceiling. Got to see if it can all come together. Tonight was the start. We've only just begun. I don't know. I'm hyped. I drove down to San Diego, even though I knew we weren't doing a radio broadcast tonight. Like, I don't care. I'd feel weird if I missed a Clippers game. I haven't missed a game in 7 years. I know I don't go to the road games, but broadcasting from Burbank at least. And if we're not doing a game tonight, I can still be there and get that experience of more of a spectator and a fan. Yeah, I care about this team. I saw Steve Ballmer there, Gillian, all the luminaries, Trent Red and Mark Hughes, front office. Got the fist bump from Lawrence Frank. That put some wind in my sails. I'm hyped. Really, really want to see what this team can do, because I think they can be special. You know what? I think we got some Kawhi audio. Someone asked Kawhi postgame what was in his cup. He said Hennessy. Nah, just playing. Postgame Kawhi in the locker room having some fun. Guess referenced LeBron James and the decision to, which if you fell for that, that is definitely a shame on you situation. Come on. How did you not know? There is no way, because they put the teaser out there, so you know it's already recorded, that they could keep that under wraps. If Kawhi said somewhere on tape, I'm retiring after this season, you have to do something like that live, which is what they did with the first decision. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this ain't it, because it would have leaked. Somebody within the production of the teaser would have given it away to TMZ Sports for $500,000. You can't keep something like that under wraps. So don't be mad at yourself. If you're mad at Kawhi, you want to sue him over it. Makes no sense. Yeah. That guy's suing over $800 because he bought tickets to the Lakers' final game, thinking it could be LeBron James's final game. Sorry if I just said Kawhi earlier. LeBron James's final game. Now he's suing because, oh, he's not retiring. I paid $800 for Lakers versus Utah or whatever it is, that final game. That's on you. Far be it for me to defend LeBron, but come on. How could you fall for that? It wasn't Jim Gray in the ad. He just talked about retirement at media day. Trying to see if we got any other post-game quotes here. Kawhi talked about San Diego. Really awesome level of support from the community there, with now the G League Clippers there. It's awesome to see move from Ontario to San Diego Clippers. You can just see everybody was really, really excited. There was a palpable buzz. Place only fits, I think, 7,500 at Front Wave Arena. It was sold out. Put on a great show. Intimate setting. Last year we did do the radio show there, and I love right at center court, but not too close. Carlo got a nice wide angle, perfect broadcasting position. But the place is awesome. If you guys have a chance, if you're in San Diego, see if the Clippers, the G League squad, the San Diego Clippers are in town and catch a game there. I saw Ricky Chu, his family was there. Met a lot of different people. It's always good, kind of an extension of media day, seeing some familiar faces, getting the ramp up for the season starting, getting back in the groove of things. And Sunday night at Intuit Dome, Clippers hosting the Denver Nuggets. They got new shirts. It's not the F-bomb, it's heck. You can check those out. Joey Lynn had a post. This is for the offensive side of the ball, and a reminder from the coaching staff wearing all these shirts with the acronym heck. Pretty funny. I really like that they're upset losing that first round series. Like it's been simmering all summer. And then first game at Intuit Dome in the preseason, you get the Denver Nuggets. And I don't think that means the Clippers are going to play the game like it's a playoff game. But I expect them to get the F back. They definitely had a lot of miscues in the first half defensively. Also, the Lions were playing some full court press at times. They played hard. They lost by more than they lost to the San Antonio Spurs, who they just played a couple of nights ago. The Lions. Clippers really pulled away in the second half, but again, just a 5-point lead at the half. But Kawhi with 18 in 18 minutes and hit just effortless 3-pointers. Looked so easy for him. And I think he got off to a slow start from 3 last season as he was getting his legs underneath him, coming back from injury. But this is the benefit of just entire offseason where he's fully healthy for the first time in 5 years. He can train how he wants to. He looks noticeably stronger, but still lean. And again, I asked Coach Lou pregame if this is the Kawhi from the 23 training camp who looked great and had a great season. He said yes. So many words. They're trending in the right direction. Do wins and losses really matter that much in the preseason? No, but you should beat a team from China. No disrespect. Again, I'm Victor Oladipo's biggest advocate. I want to see him back in the league. He's looked good. I watched him in the San Antonio game too. He had 20 in that game. He had 21 at the half in this game, I think. First half. But then the water was shut off that third quarter. I don't know if the Lions made a field goal. I'm not calling them the cowardly Lions. Okay? It's not cool. Just it happens. Go through a drought like that, shooting wise. And the Clippers defense, they started to ramp back up. I know for a fact Lawrence Frank was not happy with how the first half ended. I'll tell you that. Seeing if we got any other sound for you guys. I'll see if we got some Kawhi sound. I don't know if I'll be able to play it, but maybe I can read a quote for you. Kawhi talked about the Clippers having a lot of unks on this team. Kawhi said, I've been an unk for a long time, since I was 16 years old. It's nothing new. I started on a team with a lot of veterans. It's nothing new to me. When I first came in, I was with a lot of greats. Tim Duncan, Tony, Manu, Steven Jackson, TJ Ford, Richard Jefferson. It's been like that for me. There you go. I think the type of vets the Clippers have, they can really strengthen one another with their experience. Coach Lou spoke to this the other day. People talk about it being a weakness that they're an older team. But the strength that they have because they're an older team is experience. No better teacher. So, it's a double-edged sword. There's pros and cons to it. You're older, you're more injury prone. You also know how to play the game the right way. Can see 2 moves ahead. Can outthink teams, can work smarter, not harder. There's a lot of benefits. And they did bring in somebody who's still a pretty young buck in John Collins, who looked like just Energizer Bunny type stuff, just running all over the place. Looked a little bit, I used to say this about Montrezl Harrell. I would call him the Dennis Rodman of offense because of like the motor he had on offense. Montrezl Harrell. I get a little bit of that with John Collins, but he's a much better defender. Well, better defender. A capacity to play better defense. And they're asking him to. It's a non-negotiable when you're a Clipper now. Even James Harden had plenty of good moments last season. Oh, James Harden's so bad defensively. Well, how are the Clippers? How were they a top 3 defense last year if you're so bad all the time? Everybody's just making up for all his mistakes all the time. It doesn't work like that. He's got quick hands. The guy who plays the most minutes on the team last season, they're still a top 3 defensive team, but he's so bad. His post defense is good. It's been good. On the perimeter, get beat off the dribble. You can get lost here and there, but just be adequate. That's what we're looking for. See if we got any other post game for you guys. Man. Still got 40 minutes left on this trip. Haven't done a Clippers After Dark in a while. I apologize, but been busy in a good way. If I could do a Clipper show every day, I would. Brook Lopez, to me, for a guy who's supposedly 37, looked really good. They told us that he looked really good in training camp, and tonight, I don't know. Brook Lopez looks like an ageless wonder. And for somebody who was playing over 30 minutes a game last year to now playing maybe 20 minutes a game this year, what's that going to do for the amount of energy he has while he's out there? He looked good. It's just, man, having a reliable backup center like that to me could be the difference with, even if there's some slippage with point of attack defense, the fact that you have a backup center that's that good of a defender. So your second unit can have somebody they can rely upon to hold it down as the anchor. That's what can keep them a top 5 defense. Because the defense really fell off when Everzoo was off the floor last year. I think the Brook Lopez move is being slightly under talked about, under discussed. I think it's huge. As big as he is, and Splash Mountain did hit a 3. Just really unique player to have at this stage of his career to say, hey, I'm good with coming off the bench. Never done it, but I'll do it. Back with Big Zoo, who he was a vet for when Zoo came into the league with the Lakers. I feel like that's turning into the, did you know Stafford and Clayton Kershaw were friends? Went to the same high school? Did you know Ivica Zubac and Brook Lopez played together? And Brook was with the Lakers for a year? But always been a fan. Talked to him on the phone this summer. Not like, I got his digits or whatever. He was doing a radio interview. Told him how ecstatic Clipper Nation was to have him. Thanked him for being a Clipper. Because he could have gone somewhere else and started. Could have gone to the Lakers and started. It's a pretty big win for the Clippers. You get him. The Lakers don't. They get Ayton, who, the returns have been interesting so far in preseason. Put it like that. But yeah, I don't think even at Brook Lopez's age of 37, Ayton's a better defender than him. Brook Lopez just has really good instincts on defense. And then being a stretch 5. Nice change of pace center, because Zubac isn't stretching the floor like that. Similar skill sets, and then very different skill sets in a few different ways that gives Coach Lou another option, another look you can throw out there. Any other post-game sound? Did you guys see anything of note? Me and Carlo Jimenez, been a long day for him too. We ducked out like the Pistons when they got swept by the Bulls in 91. It was time to get back on the road. But we still hear the final buzzer. We were like leaving games early. All right, Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers defense. It went well. These games are always tough. You don't know who you're guarding. Just got to keep building for it. Added that, still preseason, it's practice, when asked about areas of improvement for next preseason game Sunday. Kawhi also was being, and he is vocal on the court. He talks, but there was a lot of communication going on. Batum also had a couple really nice defensive plays where I was like, oh, Batumbo, he had a big block. He had, I think, the steal that led to a John Collins throw down the other end off a Jordan Miller oop. Batum looked spry, rejuvenated. Love seeing that. Can't forget Nico. I think they're going to put him on ice a lot during the season, save his legs, save him for the biggest moments. He's getting up there. He's 36 or 37, but always a net positive, just winning player. Great connector on offense. Great versatile defender still. I saw what I needed to see from Nico. He ain't washed. People thought early on last season he was. I remember that. That was annoying. What am I forgetting here? Just about. Telford. Kobe Sanders. Yannick. Yannick, I noticed he had some better efforts on the glass. I thought he looked like he was processing too much on rebounds. Who am I boxing out during summer league at times? And I thought he was just being more instinctual with his rebounding tonight on a couple of plays. Yannick, man, he had a big dunk during the layup line too. And there was a dunk that was circulating from a scrimmage they had recently. I think he dunked on, might have been Trenton Flowers or Patrick Baldwin Jr. It was nasty. When you're 7 feet and can pretty much put your head on the rim, like, he can't get up quite as much as DeAndre Jordan, but he can get up. Remember the Lakers Summer League game where he had the steal, the handle in transition, a spin move, and a throwdown? Like, I think there's something there with the Yannick guys. And the good news is because they have Brook Lopez and develop and come along slowly. No need to rush. I think a lot of people after Summer League were like, okay, I see the vision here. I see why they picked him. It wasn't a reach. He was easily the most athletic center and one of the most athletic players drafted, period. Look at the combine numbers. I think he could be one of those late bloomer guys because he started playing basketball later. So, he's catching up his mind to his body. And hopefully the game will down. But I thought he looked less lost than he did at times in Summer League. And he only played the first 3 games of Summer League, I think. Anything else? I do not try this at home. I don't know if we're going to hear anything revelatory post game, but I'm ready for Sunday. We'll have that game for you on the radio. I think on AM 570 because the NLCS wouldn't start till, I don't know, Monday next week. If the Dodgers are on, that means we're on AM 1150 with Clippers. But if they're not on, we're on AM 570. You can always just go to the Clippers iHeart, and pre and post will be here on the YouTube side, Clippers Talk. We won't be doing the extensive post-game show with the callers until the regular season, but I will be at Into a Dome on Sunday. Clippers, Nuggets, 6:30 tip, 5:30 pregame. BJ Matthews is coming on pregame. The Sporting Tribune saw him tonight. G. Mona, Justin Russo. All right. Appreciate you guys rolling with me. Literally. Now that would mean like physically we're all like rolling, stop, drop, roll together. But you know, riding along. I'm Adam Osland. You've been listening to Clippers Talk After Dark.